I guess honestly, my idea right now was that we could just start it off. I mean, if you guys see the post that I put at the top, the billboard right there, that I'm joining Dom and a bunch of other athletes. Right now we have Alex Bono also announced, and there's a few other guys for sure coming. But I'm joining them in the Football Punks NFT project. And so here we have Arshan, who's the developer for the project. We also have Aurora. I think Aurora is there for the Football Punks
Yeah,
Twitter
I'm just
page.
pretending I'm Alex Bono.
Yeah, she's pretending to be Alex. So I don't know. I guess like maybe you guys want to take it away and talk about the project, and then maybe later on we can just kind of talk NFTs in general, and then see what I know some people want to talk about other projects and So Rare and stuff like that. So maybe you guys want to take it away first with Football Punks, and then we can open it up.
Yeah, let me take it away. So Football Punks is a an NFT collection that we've created. It's going to have 10,000 pieces. It's based off the Ethereum network, and it's just a way for us to, connect the players to the fans. And, for me, this is a very exciting project because for me, there's life after soccer, and, it's something that I can be a part of building that can support me and my family. And, also the big thing here is it supports lots of other athletes. The partnerships that we're creating, and of course yourself, Tesho, now on board. We're very excited to keep releasing slowly. Lots of other athletes we're bringing on, and lots of other athlete endorsers. And the collection's going to have not just current active players. It's going to have other Hall of Famers and some big players, and players are going to have stats. There's ways to expand this project. We're going to have fantasy leagues. It's just really something that fans are going to be able to be a part of, and it's going to gain you pretty tremendous access to players, and hopefully brings you into a space where we can make this a community, and there's lots of collaboration. We are working very closely with I guess we're in the beginning stages of a collaboration with the Black Players for Change, because we want to add a charitable component to this, and it's a project that we're supporting. And as it happens to be International Women's Day, we'd like to announce that we are releasing a women's collection as well very soon. And yeah, I mean, any other questions that we have, we can add to it, and anything I've not dropped on yet, Aurora and Arshan, please add on, and yeah, let's get some questions and get some dialogue going.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Two things that I want to highlight that you said. One is I love that the project is going to have women as well as like men in the collection, because so many, I'm like I'm dabbling a little bit in the crypto space, the NFT space, and everything you see, it's like all directed towards men right now. There is a little bit of women projects coming out, but I like that this one's balanced. Everyone in it together, because at the end of the day, like the soccer community is for everyone. You see the people who are in here listening to the spaces right now. We have tons of women. We have tons of men as well. So I love that. And then the second thing is just another reason I'm excited for this project is because part of the whole purpose is to connect players more with fans. And that's what I've been trying to do with these Twitter spaces in the first place. Is just show the fans, that we are people, and get to know the fans a little bit better on a personal level. And I think that kind of when you're at the stadium and you can see the fan who was on your Twitter space, like, and they know that you know them, like it's just very cool. So I think, yeah, just the connection to the fans and the fact that we're bringing women into it is amazing, and I'm really happy to be a part of the project.
Yeah, like I think actually let me introduce myself. I'm Aurora, so I'm actually working on this project as well, pretty closely. I kind of end up touching almost all the different sides between like marketing, working with the dev and whatnot. And it's been really cool to be here as a female non-athlete, because I feel like I've been able to come in and hear all these different things that players are talking about, and see all these similarities between what they're saying, almost as like an outsider coming in. I obviously understand like the tech space well, but it's important when you're building any sort of project for there to be a reason, for like something that unifies everyone. And what's really cool about Football Punks is when we started, we may have definitely had a clear vision, but that really got solidified from having repetitive conversations with athletes and seeing these different things that they wanted out of their own lives or their own futures, even just seeing what's happening in the tech space and how they wanted to get involved. So just having a project like this, which is so personal to the athletes and what they represent, is like very, very meaningful on the creator side. And to work to like make these dreams come true even is the big goal here, and I'm just so excited to see it grow.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to add is, yeah, so from the day one, we pretty much wanted to have both female and male players. And it's pretty much like all the code for the art generation is almost done. We are kind of figuring out what kind of distributions we want between different kinds of assets, and how is the rarity going to be distributed across the different players. And yeah, so and essentially one of the interesting questions is that what do we want to put between the distribution of like the number of female players versus male players. And there's arguments for having it go 50-50, but there's also, you could like have one side be less, but then that would make them more rare. So it's not necessarily like against the gender, but there's like all these different interesting things that come up. But yeah, so it's pretty exciting. And if you go on our Twitter pages, you can basically see kind of previews of what the players are going to be, the players are going to look like. And there will be more and more features coming onto our website where you can kind of interact with the collection before it's even dropped. And you can kind of get a better feel of how the collection is going to look like, what makes the players rare, what are the capabilities, and the different attributes that each NFT can have.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't already, go make sure you follow Football Punks. Also, if you see in the post that I put at the top, join the Discord, because that's where, like me and Dom, we're going to be in the Discord, like talking to people. So just like you guys can hang out with me here every Tuesday, if you join the Discord, which for those who don't know, like some people don't even know what Discord is. So for those who don't know, it's basically just like a chat app. So you just go in and it's just another messenger app, but join the Discord for the Football Punks, and you can hang out with me, Dom, Alex, and all the other players who will be a part of the project. Like, we'll be in there. And like they said, we're going to be doing giveaways. There's going to be tickets. They'll be Ask Me Anythings from me and the other guy. So it's really exciting. Honestly, Arshan, I have, sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But
yeah. No,
okay, good.
Actually.
I just wanted to ask you, like, about the development side of things. Like, if you want to just give us like the basic of what does that even mean to like develop an NFT project.
Yeah. So basically, NFTs are essentially proof of ownership, and essentially, an NFT is a piece of code that enables you to exactly prove that you are the owner of something. And what that thing is, it's usually shown through a URL that's attached to every single NFT. That usually points to the data that you already own. And so there are various implementations of the ERC 721 contract. ERC 721 is just jargon for an NFT. And it's basically this standard that defines what this deed should look like. And once you essentially deploy such a contract onto the Ethereum network, and multiple people are owners of it, if they go on, for example, a website like OpenSea and connect their wallet, they can see that they are, in fact, the owners of those specific NFTs. So basically, creating a collection like this means that you basically have to create the art. And we wanted to make this collection a little bit more exciting by generating 10,000 exactly unique NFTs. So no two images are going to look the same or have the same attributes. And that's kind of more like most of the sports NFTs. When we were initially doing our research, we kind of realized that a lot of these sports NFTs are usually kind of sports cards, which makes sense. And but the only thing about them is that it's like usually 10,000 of the same card. There's no uniqueness, even though they are distinguishable by their IDs, but that like nothing exactly sets the card apart from the other one. And we kind of decided to make this a little bit more exciting. And as the name of the project suggests, this is kind of a ode to CryptoPunks, which is the original NFT project that came out. And it's essentially adopting the idea that each NFT can have different attributes, and you can see those attributes on the picture, and they're all computer generated, and they're all in fact unique. So for this project, one of the components of this project is essentially writing a program that, given a whole bunch of assets, it can mix and mingle them with enough context that this, for example, this asset is for a female player and this asset is for a male player, and take those assets and mix and mingle them and then generate 10,000 unique NFTs or 10,000 unique pictures. So that is one part of it. And then the other part is the actual smart contract itself, which is the part that you deploy to the Ethereum network, and people can go ahead on the website and essentially mint the collection. And then the other part of this project is just the website itself. So we pretty much, me and the designer kind of like went off on the website and made it super interactive by creating kind of custom components on it. Like if you go on our webpage, you can actually see like a ball bouncing between multiple football punks. And then as you kind of like scroll down, you're going to be able to get multiple previews of the project. And a section that we recently just added to the website is the stats section. And that is actually an additional part to the metadata that's associated with every single NFT, and that is essentially stats, very similar to what you would, for example, see on FIFA or PES. Each player has different attributes, for example, striking, physicality, defense, so on and so forth. There's 6 attributes, and that is also going to be another thing that's going to add to the uniqueness of every single player, and it actually makes them different from the other players in that sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good general overview of Football Punks. Like I said, guys, make sure you go follow the Twitter page, go check out the website, and join the Discord for sure. Join the Discord. That's where we're going to be hanging out at. All the news and announcements will be flowing through there. And now I guess, like, honestly, if we just want to talk about anybody from the crowd, if you want to talk about this project or NFTs in general, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And Chris, I know you're up here too. You're in the NFT space, whatever you guys say. We got Kyle and Quincy, my guys down there. They're doing some big stuff in the NFT space too. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Yeah, Michael, what's up? Do you have anything? Any questions for us?
Actually, Ershon actually answered a lot of that for me. I guess more of the thing I would ask is, for somebody that has no clue what an NFT is or what it does, what is more of a layman's term of how it works and what we can do with it, or what you guys can do with it?
I can take that if that's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because you're totally right. NFTs are super duper new to a lot of people, and Arshan definitely mentioned that it's proof of ownership. So that's what the technology really does represent. It's something that really truly tells you, like, I own this. And that's really bare bones. We still don't know what that means, especially in relation to football punks, right? So something that I find is a really easy way to envision it is owning an NFT. If the NFT collection was a company, owning an NFT would be like owning the shares. So you are a part of that company, essentially, and what it represents. So obviously, when it comes to NFTs in general, and this would go for ours and any others, it's important to buy into something that you believe in. And the NFT aspect, the ownership, the contract, all that stuff that Arshan talked about, is the technology side. And that technology side is really powerful, and that's why it's taking the world by a storm. And we can always get into that. But technology side aside, we also want to make sure that what it represents is something that you want to buy into. So if we were focusing on what this represents, what's really cool about it is the NFT space is blowing up, and some don't necessarily always have a purpose. Some don't necessarily maybe have like one thing that they're representing, but we are very clear in our vision in terms of how we're representing players, how we're able to give them a platform to continue growing while making sure that all of the people that support them, love them, care about them and their businesses are also able to bring themselves onto that journey. And then on the technical side, you know, crypto, which is also based off the blockchain, NFT, which is based off the blockchain. It's a very, very interesting and complex place, and we can talk about it in so many different details. But as far as that goes, like it is something that almost every single company is finding ways to implement or looking into because that is like the prevailing technology.
That is awesome. Thank you, because that just made my life 10 times easier. And then I guess one more question is, well, kind of two more questions. Are we looking to get Chris Sykes on there, first off? And then secondly, are you looking for any players, or how are you exactly working that?
Well, Chris, you can definitely slide into our DMs and we can see how that goes. But as far as any players go, of course, you know, as nice as it could be to have every single player on board, it's important for us to make sure that the people who are part of our collection believe in the space, want to be part of the space, because as easy as it is to just, you know, do what some other collections are doing, which is paying celebrities or athletes or whatnot to post about them, that's not where our true value is. We want to benefit the athletes as much as we want to benefit all other holders. So as long as the people that we're bringing on align with our overall vision, that's more important to us than how many we bring on, and it's also more important than who's a bigger athlete or has a bigger following.
Sweet. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, Aurora, I'll definitely slide into your DMs. One other point, I might have missed a big aspect of what you were discussing with NFTs, but a huge point of NFTs for me is utility, and the ability of that NFT giving you access, like Dom was talking about, to Discord, to one-on-ones, to chats, to autograph sessions, to different things like that. And utility in general with NFTs is huge. In some circumstances, it gets you into conferences, it gets you into meetings with like individuals who are high ups within the company, and it gives you really good access to things that you wouldn't get on the street, right? You wouldn't get out of a stadium, you'd scream at the player to get an autograph, and maybe they'll come by. But joining a group or joining something like Football Punks gives you unbelievable access to the players that you are hoping to get the contact with. And so I think that's a big aspect that you guys are offering, but also NFTs in general offer with everything that's going on. And it gives an inside look, and it aligns players and fans' ability to connect. And I think that's really important and underappreciated.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sites. And I think like also, you know, Aurora gave a good rundown of what an NFT is, but I think it's just we're very early in this. Like NFT means non-fungible token. So if you think of a fungible token as like Bitcoin, like if I own a little bit of Bitcoin and you own a little bit of Bitcoin, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. But non-fungible means like mine is different than yours. So in the real world, if you think about what's non-fungible, like almost everything is non-fungible. You know, like the shoes I'm wearing are non-fungible. It's not the same as your shoes, or like your family or your house or whatever. So right now, a lot of NFT projects have been focused around either art, like profile pictures, or community, which is like very cool. But I think that that's just kind of step one, and it's going to get a lot deeper than that. I think we just haven't really found out how to unlock that, but it's cool to be in the space early, because I think that it's going to get a lot deeper when, you know, we spend so much of our time in the digital world right now, and owning stuff in a non-fungible way is gonna be important the more and more time we spend online.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true. And another thing in general, as far as like NFTs and it being new goes, is, you know, I think that a lot of collections are really hasty to promise all these big, wild things in a space that hasn't even been around for that very long for us to know how things are going to pan out. So something that's really important when you are working with NFTs is to understand like who is behind what we're buying into, what can they actually do. And something that I think that our collection stands for and is able to leverage is that we are like all of the players that we work with, they're all people who have a variety of things that they offer. So we know what we're able to offer in the short term, but we also are able to know how we can use the collective power of the different brands that they have, all the different like future things that are happening in the space, how our metadata is set up so that we can set ourselves up so that depending how this space goes, which we all can just speculate on because it is early, depending on how it goes, we're prepared to make the best moves, and we've already built the right community, the right team to actually attack that properly.
Hey, my guy Kyle jumped up here, the accountant. Kyle is in the locker room every day talking about NFTs, so I knew he was going to tune in for this one.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, Kyle.
First thing I'll say is I think the project sounds super cool. It sounds like you guys are onto something really that'll be good for the fans and for the players. And like I think Chris said it about the utility. And I think that's why I like NFTs so much is the art and the utility, because, you get things back for owning cool art pieces, which I think is awesome. And then also, like, I feel like NFTs can go so many different routes. And I think Dom said it earlier, like you guys are going to do a game, which I know there's, P2E games, play to earn games, which I think is super cool because you literally can grind killing zombies and earning money, trading weapons. There's a project that's releasing called Undead Blocks. It's going to be the first, zombie P2E game. So yeah, it's just, super exciting. And I think you guys are on to awesome projects. So.
Thank you.
There's so much. All right, let's go. We have a few people that have been up here for a while. Gene, I think you were first, so if you have a question or anything to say.
No, what's up,
What's up?
everybody? You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm working with the Football Punks team just to help them, procure athletes and being able to dive in, to that process of bringing athletes and soccer players onto the project, as well as being able to kind of help work through the pipeline and everything in the utility that we're creating. I think everybody's asking incredible questions, making good points. Shout out Sightsee. I see Zach Lubin in here, Saad, Quincy, Alex Dion, everybody that, showed up to this. And I think everybody's kind of alluding to the same point, and Michael asked some really good questions. Imagine, all the opportunities, and I think I see, Mike, you're an Orlando City fan. What kind of opportunities have you ever experienced to really get some one-on-one time or, access to players? A lot of those things are put on, by the club. And whether it's a season ticket member benefit or something that you have to pay for, be entered into a raffle, ultimately what Football Punks is giving you, a unique piece of artwork that is ultimately your ticket into the members club. It removes, the velvet rope, and it allows you unprecedented access to the people that you throw on purple and get out there and yell your head off for every weekend. And it's a really incredible, opportunity to dive in and be able to interact with athletes and find out who they are even a little bit off the field. And I think the best way, you're talking layman's terms to really describe not only NFTs in general, but this project is, a way that the athletes themselves are able to collateralize their time and their brands and value adds and not have it be necessarily always the entities, like clubs or who they play for or leagues, that benefit from, their time and giving it to their fans. It's a place where they can really dig in, interact with the people that support them and help keep their, the lifeblood of the game running. And so, we kind of talked about different projects and what they all do. And everybody has, some different type of angle or thinks that if they have, someone with millions of followers post, they're just going to be able to have people run to the project. But, everybody really gets keen on NFTs, starts to ask themselves, why this project, right? And I think with Football Punks, as everybody's alluded to, our main goal here is really just connecting, fans and players in a new arena that is so untapped and is such a, a trail to be blazed, that we don't really know where the ceiling is in this. And, being able to do it in a way where fans and the community around our teams and our athletes are bringing value in themselves, as well as the athletes bringing value. And I think that's something that kind of goes understated, is once you join an NFT collection, you really are becoming part of a community. And these are some of the catchphrases that you'll continue to see: utility, community. And within that community, there are certain benefits to be received for joining that community. And the NFT is really just your ticket. It is your way in. It is your access point and your opportunity to be able to, go to events, and member only events that you may see when you're walking around Exploria Stadium and somebody looks at you weird because you're trying to get into an area that you don't have a credential or a wristband for. That is this metaphor in the digital space. This Football Punks collection is your VIP pass into an opportunity to get to know the players that you go and cheer for, and to get to know them as people, and to be able to collaborate and to be able to create a community, hopefully and ideally a worldwide community around the game of football that we all love so much.
Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to add is, can everyone hear me? It's like the squiggly
Yeah.
lines are not moving enough. Oh, okay,
You're good.
cool. Because it shows flat here, and I'm like, is my mic even working? Anyways, yeah, and to add to what Gene said, yes, exactly. This is pretty much, we're trying to create a community for all the soccer fans and football fans. And essentially, if you take a look at it, there are other projects similar to this, such as, for example, Ballers, that was done by Dapper Labs, which is, for basketball. And if you take a look at that project, it's like, in terms of concept, is somewhat similar to ours, except that we actually have, partnerships with real athletes that that's the whole point of this project, is to connect the athletes with their fans and provide a better means for the fans to be able to engage with the athletes and basically get all these benefits, which is essentially giveaways, tickets, AMAs. If the athlete has like a brand, then we'll be doing, for example, giveaways of that brand, and so on and so forth. And such a community for soccer doesn't really, or for football, I should say football. I mean, it's 2 a.m. in London right now, so majority of people here are probably from North America. But I'm going to call it football anyways, because I'm Iranian, and back in Iran, we used to call it football. So basically, such a community for football doesn't really exist yet. And that's one of the really exciting things about this project, is that we are partnering with athletes and also creating a very cool looking project that goes with it. And essentially, owning one of these NFTs will act as your VIP pass into this kind of club that is shared with you and all of your favorite athletes. And yeah, that's it.
No, I think like you said, it's cool that this project is giving the athletes control over it, because a lot of other things are going usually go through the team level, and I think that this is a cool way to like give athletes power, and also like we can learn about what crypto and NFTs really are like at the same time. Everybody's kind of learning together, so that's also going to be a cool part of it. I think we have okay, go ahead, Dom.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Tesh, I think you do a fantastic job in your space of, educating people on, lots of financial literature. And I know you've educated me many times in the locker room as well. And I know your boys with Sightsee, he's a real estate guru. And I think just the difference of this project is that it's so player backed, not league backed. You may see NFTs being sold on behalf of the players union, and none of that really goes directly to the players. So I think that what is going to push this project and make it unique is that this one is fully backed by the players. So this is something that's going to benefit the players individually. So especially to those fans who, want to support the players and be involved, and like you said, get the VIP pass. This is something that allows us to do that. And basically as athletes, we can be in full control of that and be on the onboarding process and connect and make that community with the fans.
Yeah, direct connection from the players to the fans. That's great.
Somebody onboard me right now.
For real, yo, get in that
I'm
get in
My
that
ready.
DMs are
Discord,
empty
man.
right now. What's
Yeah,
going on?
I gotta
get in
buy
there.
into Tesho, man. Come on.
All right, we got some people that have been up here. I think Zico, you were first up. What's up, bro?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. Thanks for being patient. Appreciate it.
No problem. Kind of with what Dom said, I was curious. So I've kind of understand the benefits to the buyer or the people wanting to join the community. What's the benefit to the players, and why would they want to join the project? Like future players as well as you guys that have already joined.
Dom, if you want to speak to this, jump in anytime. Something that is important, I think, is that the players, what we want to do is make sure that they have the space to grow their own businesses, to grow their own, like their own financial stability and the path forward. And what's really, really important to say is that there are a few projects out there that are maybe about a single player, but we're interested in like the cumulative value of a player, of all of our players, and putting out a project like this, and I'm sure any to come in the future, is not an easy job. To make sure it's done well, like you need a good team, you need to be ready. So we actually, as a whole, can enable more players to actually come on, get educated, fill in those gaps, help boost them up, and actually, find spaces where they can get involved, that they may have not been able to do on their own or with their existing team, and that's really awesome because I mean, I'm sure Dom can attest to it. Just on the back end here, it's a lot of work to make sure something like this gets done well and with everyone in mind. What's also cool is it takes the players, and it takes kind of the weight off of just an individual player. Again, because we have so many players and you get to know all the cool ones we're bringing on board. Um, it's not onto a player to be providing utility on their own day in and day out or regularly. I mean, they will continue to, but we get to pull from so many different things. It's almost like when there's a union or a players association, what they're doing is they're leveraging everyone's power together, and that's what we're able to provide as a team and make sure we're looking out for everyone, especially in a space that is growing, changing, and very demanding.
That was a great answer. And that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, we're all stronger together. I think, like, so like let's just say it's just me and Dom in the community or whatever. Like, both of us are better off because like I have my expertise somewhere and I have my connection somewhere. Dom has his. So like we're pooling all of our expertise and connections into the community and then pooling it together with the fans. So like you get to make connections with fans, and like I'll make connections with people who are fans of Dom, and he'll make connections with people who are fans of mine. So I think it's just power in numbers. But that was a great question, Zico. Thanks for asking that.
Yeah,
Also, I love seeing the players who haven't gotten to like speak to each other also benefit each other. That's also something I'm looking forward to. So,
For sure. Were you gonna say something else, Zico?
I was actually just saying thank you, but I had another question about the stats. I'm just on the website. Is that a future adaptation to the project, and how exactly will that work?
Yeah, I can try and get on that question. So the idea is that we can have a fantasy league or a game, or something that gives us more interaction. And again, that's a moving piece that can be kind of, you can earn fantasy points. I don't know, Aurora, if you can increase your
Yeah,
stats. I'm
I can
sure my
actually.
speed is still above Tesho's, but sorry, what are you saying, Ashen?
No, it's
Never,
yeah.
never.
Just kind of jumping in here to kind of continue on and expand on what Dom was saying. So the idea is that we've added the stats to essentially lay the foundation and the groundwork for future possibilities, and future, for example, games or fantasy leagues that could be built with this project. Now, exactly building the games is not necessarily on our timeline right now, but we have put the data there for both even ourselves or other people that decide to build a project on top of our project. So one great thing about crypto is that it's all open, and once we deploy this, these NFTs are essentially owned by the people, and somebody else can basically come in and create a game that accepts some NFTs as like part of the game. and essentially deploy another smart contract that is able to interact with our NFTs. So we are essentially like adding those attributes into the metadata of the player so that it later on has the potential or like the foundation set for creation of the game on top of it. Now, play to earn games are pretty common in the DeFi space, and they've been happening over the past couple months. The most famous one being DeFi Kingdoms, where people basically go and follow quests and win certain tokens and stuff for it. Nothing really super complicated has been built yet, and mostly this is because for an actual game to be made, there's like big companies and lots of teams of developers that kind of get together to basically build something that is, a game as complex as, for example, Hearthstone or something like that. So what we are trying to do here is to essentially lay the foundation for it. And then depending on where the community goes, where the project goes, what kind of partnerships we end up making with the other protocols, what kind of investors we end up bringing in, we would be able to continue on and make a game. But exactly a game, for example, like a fantasy league game or some kind of stake to earn mechanism, that is something that is not currently on our roadmap. The one like of the major what's it called? The utility that we provide right now is mainly the NFTs themselves, the partnership with the players, the fact that we have AMAs, giveaways, and being able to connect the players with their fans in a more unique way and in a way that kind of removes a whole lot of barriers that previously would exist if a fan wanted to interact with their favorite players.
Arshan, could I add one thing real quick?
Yes, sir.
I think that a nice comparison to make, as everybody is kind of getting in, learning more and getting more educated on NFTs and just the way that we're trying to execute it is kind of, if you guys are familiar with FIFA Ultimate Team, and correct me if I'm wrong, like the stats will eventually be something that will add an element of rarity and differentiation within the collection and the certain randomness of the mint process. So you see videos of guys that will pack, a legend player, or when you're going in, and buying packs of players in Ultimate Team, there's a certain level of randomness to who you get. And within the NFT collection, what is going to make your NFT potentially more valuable, more rare, an opportunity for you to move it on the secondary market, can be parts of those, not only the variables and the attributes in the image itself, and you'll see in a generative collection, which is what we're creating, you ultimately have a minting process that gives you a certain element of randomness in what you get, and there are different physical attributes to the PFP, but also the stats then give a different level of attributes to kind of the back end and the metadata, as Arshan alluded to where when you come into the project and you get into the collection by getting a mint, you ultimately then are waiting to see what you get, and it could be something super rare, it could be not, but the value in an upward trajectory is going through the momentum of the community and the collective buy-in. So it's something that gives another dimension, as Tesho was alluding to, with non-fungible, that makes your unique NFT, very rare or very different, and it allows there to be kind of a differentiation in addition to all of the longer term things that they were talking about that can be done with those stats. Right within the NFTs themselves, it's kind of like I said, comparing to FIFA Ultimate Team, I think it gives you that opportunity to kind of see what you can get in the diversity of the NFT itself.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
And we had Quincy up here for a minute, and he just dropped down to listener. Quincy, come back up, bro. We need to hear from the first pro athlete in the metaverse.
Let's
So
go, Quincy.
hit that request.
Let's go, Quincy.
Yeah, once he gets back up here, we'll
Come
talk to him.
back.
And we got my guy Alex in here too. Alex is always talking about NFTs. What's up, bro?
Alex,
Yo, what's
wow,
up?
we've never spoken to you before.
Nah, how's it going? What's up?
Of course not.
Nah, it's cool to be here. This is cool that we did this little thing that you guys sorted this out, especially on the Tuesdays with Tesho. But I love what I'm hearing so far. I think Zico asked a great question about, why would any other professional athletes want to join this space, and I think this is part of it. Like, it's cool that we're all up here. Like, I don't know sites. There's a couple other people in here that you can build a relationship with through this NFT. And I also think that with what Tesho said about the power of numbers, about people coming together, it also has that power of knowledge and the diversity of the whole world of football. It's just so diverse, and it's cool to be able to have that kind of perspective from different people that you can throw ideas back and forth, and you can learn from each other. And I feel like that this is a cool opportunity and a new way to do it, other than just the normal business route in a sense. So I mean, I think it's cool. I think this is awesome, and I've loved what I hear so far. So keep going.
Yeah. Also, anybody there's some people in the crowd right now, would love to hear from you guys if you have questions about this project in particular or just NFTs in general. Hit the request, and I'll get you up here to talk to all of us that are here. Right now, we got Harry. Harry, you've been up here for a while, bro. What's up?
What's going on, man? I was just gonna add random little fact. I actually bought Chris's So Rare Player Edition card in the summer. I don't know if he remembers it. I mean, you're not gonna know who bought it technically, but yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with So Rare. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't
bought
know if you
Chris's
can
card.
sell it, but it might be a good time to sell it. I kind of quit playing soccer about 3 months ago.
Well, yeah. To be fair, I moved it on not too long after I bought it off you. To be fair, because player cards at the time were pretty hot and stuff. So I ended up getting a Ryan Gravenberch, who's a decent player for Ajax right now. So it
Love
ended up
that.
working out
Flip
really
it,
well.
dude. I love to hear that.
Nah, but I was just wondering, was that because I heard there was rumors of something all the MLS players were selling all their cards and stuff, or all their player edition cards. I don't know if you want to speak on that. I understand if it's
Yeah.
too confidential and stuff.
No.
Tesho,
I'll talk about it. But what happened was, yeah, So Rare gave us all cards, which was super dope. They gave each player their own individual card that they can mint and sign it. But the thing is, for those who don't know, So Rare is it's kind of like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy soccer game where people can. So, for example, somebody can buy my Tesho card, and depending on how well I do each week, you get points, and you can win crypto depending on how good your team is. Is that right, Harry? That's a good explanation.
Yeah, that's effectively it. You
Yeah.
either win more cards or more Ethereum.
Exactly. So, but the problem is it's dope that So Rare gave us our cards, but the problem is we cannot at all be involved in gambling and soccer, complete no. So the only thing we really could do was to sell the cards, but I think it's dope. You said you got Chris's card and now you're talking to him. I sold my card to a guy who was I sold my card to a guy who was saying he was a collector of the Canadian players So Rare. So I think that was cool, and I ended up messaging him afterwards. So that's why
I think he
pretty
might
much
be in the chat right now.
He might be. Yeah.
It's the guy. It's the J Hod guy.
Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah. So he got my card, and then we talked back and forth and stuff, so I think that's the reason why everyone sold theirs, because it was well, it's better off in someone else's hand than we can't play the game and anything. So
I get
that's why
that,
you saw that.
But then,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but European players, you've got players like Timo Werner. There's loads of big guys actually playing the game right now. So I don't know how the US are regulating that, but ultimately from a European player standpoint right now, it's in my eyes and their eyes, because they're doing it, it can't be counted as gambling.
Nah, I think maybe each league has its own rules though. So for us,
the MLSPA stepped in when we signed the deal and did the deal and told us to stay off of the game itself, and that the cards were an awesome opportunity for us, but to not actually play the game. So it kind of came from RPA, probably to save themselves a headache, but at the same time, it was a really cool opportunity, and that was the first NFT style project that I got into and opened my eyes to everything that I'm doing now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Thanks for the question, Harry. All right, we got my guy Quincy back. He's back. The first pro athlete in the metaverse. What's up, bro? How you doing? If he's there, maybe. Oh, there he is. Yes, sir. What's up, bro?
Am I here? Yeah, my internet isn't too great where I'm at right now, so apologies on popping
the private island? The private
island?
On
the farm. Dude. He's on his ranch.
On the farm, baby.
Yes, sir. I'm on #AmeriquaAcres, baby.
Love it. So what do you I don't know if you want to just, because I mean you've been doing stuff in the NFT space, the metaverse space, so I don't know if you want to comment on the football punks or just give advice in general too, because I know you've got some projects you're involved with that are kind of ahead of this. So, what have you seen that's worked and stuff like that? We might have lost him.
He got rugged.
He got rugged. Yeah, he got stuck in the blockchain, man, right when we had him up here. He got lost in the blockchain, man. It's all right.
Sorry, wait. Did you call me?
No, it was Quincy. He got rugged in the blockchain.
True.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh well.
We're gonna have
it's a
to
big
do
space out there.
yeah, we're gonna have to do our own special one with Quincy, because man, every time the Sites knows, you were his roommate for what, a few years, right?
Just 1 year, but dude, we would stay up till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he would just be going on tangents about stuff I had no idea about until 2 years later, and sure enough, he's already ahead of the game. I mean, he was yelling in the locker room for people to get into Bitcoin at like eight grand.
Yeah, he's a legend. We got Paul up here though. Paul, you help Quincy with his podcast, right?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I had you on and I had Chris on too. How's it going, guys?
Yeah. And I think I feel like I was on one Twitter Spaces when you were saying you also do something with NFTs and athletes, or maybe it was like you got crypto endorsement for some MMA guys or something like that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, so I'm a sports marketing manager, business manager to athletes off the field stuff, and I've been doing a lot of different things in NFT space and bringing kind of like a Web2 type sponsorships and things like that. Not just like saying you got this NFT. Like I got actually them to pay money for sponsorships and things like that. I just did another one with another bare knuckle boxing woman, and I actually just got my podcast sponsored by an NFT project. So it's been pretty cool to tap into that. It's a new network to tap in and make new revenue streams for different things, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Just like giving more power to like the individual, and to the players. Like, especially we have a short amount of time to play the sport that we love professionally. So, we got to leverage like our name, our likeness, build our community. That's why that's why I always do these Tuesdays with Tesho, to like just try to really connect with people, let the people know who I am. So I think like crypto and NFTs is just another layer on top of that, which is super cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think your project is dope. I came in late, so I didn't hear much about it. But I mean, I'm a fan of like 8-bit kind of artwork, so I like it.
And I think mine looks a little bit cooler than Dom's, which is nice too. So,
bro, that hairline's going a little bit.
Hey, you're missing your hoop earrings, Tesh. What's going on?
I know. It's all right though. It's all right. The hoop earrings can't make it in the blockchain. It's a health hazard. Let's see. Quincy's trying to get back up here, but he's still stuck. Zico, what's up, bro?
Hey, sorry, I just had another question. For the timeline on when they're being released, I know on the website and everything it just says to be determined. Is there an idea of when not only they'll be released, but kind of the project will really get started in full steam?
Yeah, I mean, so we're working with a bunch of athletes. So like part of our goal is just to make sure that the people that we're working with get the time and space to do things like this. We're working on a lot of timelines. The NFT space is really changing, and that's something to keep in mind too, because even Arshan and I were discussing like this sort of recent slump is just something to be aware of and like decide how to adjust accordingly. At the end of the day, like for us, when we talk about community, that is the big thing. We want to make sure that the community that we have supports what we're trying to actually deliver. And I would say that's probably the major thing, because as far as the tech side goes, we're done, we're good. We could drop this tomorrow. But that's obviously not the main thing. So we are assessing it. We have a lot of athletes actually that we have yet to get to introduce you all to. So
Uh-oh.
we're going to
Did
be
she fall off for
randomizing
everybody? Just for me?
it.
Just you. I can hear.
Yeah, I can hear too.
Yeah, I still hear her.
I can hear myself too. So yeah, we don't have an exact date yet, and so I will always just say like to keep posted. But we are excited and we're ready. Like I said, we would be ready to do this tomorrow.
Yeah, and essentially, with every single NFT project, usually the community is the biggest aspect of it. And we've even seen some NFT projects because as we are doing this launch, we kind of look at other projects and see how they're doing. Just do our own due diligence to do our research and make sure that we are taking the right steps. And we've seen that a lot of quite honestly, pretty good, genuine projects with good team and good people and good developers. They are trying to launch, but just because of the way that the market is right now, they're unfortunately not doing really well, and that's just kind of heartbreaking because the team has done everything that they could, but it's just that the way that the market is, and given the current situation and the political climate and like all the stuff that's happening in the world, it just makes it tough to drop an NFT and have it do really really well, which is what we are intending on doing. As far as the tech side goes, like Aurora said, yes, we're good. And we're just taking all this time. Like we are able to drop it from like the technical point of view. Like we don't really have any limitation there. We just want to make sure that we are taking the right approach and right steps with regards to announcing the athletes and basically doing all these things that we can already deliver on, which is essentially the giveaways and um, the essentially the ticket giveaways and all things of that sort. And yeah, so it's essentially that. Like we're basically waiting for the community to be built up and reach a specific point where we feel like, okay, this is good. We can move forward with launching. But as far as the technical side goes, we don't really have any limitations. I mean, we can essentially do it whenever we want. And even at some point, it'll basically come down to what the community wants, right? So if the community wants sooner, we can do sooner. But if the community wants to, wants for us to kind of wait and like, announce more athletes and all that kind of stuff, then we'll essentially do as the community tells us.
Hey,
Yeah,
Arsene
that's kind of my
Wenger.
2 cents.
Arsene Wenger has a famous quote that's written on the walls of the Emirates, and it says, "The stronger the foundation, the stronger the fortress." And I think that that's what these two are alluding to is, any project, the really determining factor, if you're not out selling art on the blockchain or ones of ones, is the community in and of itself. And, the priority is, to be able to build that, to be able to tap in, to be able to create, the connective tissue of the world of football through our project, and to be able to see that, wow, there's a lot of value within this. I can only imagine what it's going to open up to once the NFTs go live, and then I'm able to step in with my VIP pass of sorts to be able to get access to the full execution of what we're doing. And I think this is just a little taste of what we're going to try to continue to bring and continue to bring athletes into this. And I think it's like, like Sites, you would say, you got to get your back four right and then build the team from there, right?
For sure, for sure. All right,
Yeah.
so we've been going for like an hour already. Dom, I don't know if you want to, wrap us up. Any closing words since you're like the OG athlete involved in this? Yeah, you want to close
Yeah,
us out a little bit?
I love it. Thank you all for being a part of this. Our goal is for this to be a sustaining long-term project. So, the more we can do this and build this community, the sooner we can launch this and it can be available for everyone. And this is very exciting. And I appreciate all the messages and appreciate you all taking your time and getting involved and getting educated. And now this is very cool. So Tesho, I appreciate you a lot as well. I think this is great. I love what you do with your space and your page. And I think, like you said, we're all stronger together. So the more we can collaborate and work together. I think this will be very fun and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I appreciate all of your time and you guys wanted to be a part of this project.
Hey, quick shout out. We got Tony, Juan, you guys down there. We see you. Appreciate you guys jumping in with a little Tuesday with Tesho.
We
But
see
you
some
know,
future athletes in here.
we see you
Actually,
guys down there for sure.
also just wanted to quickly mention we will be going live on Instagram through Dom and Football Punk's Instagrams. So tune in. We'll be posting about that. If you have any follow-up questions, definitely don't hesitate, and we'll try to make sure there's some fun elements. And yeah, stay posted because this is only getting bigger and better and stronger.
And Tesho,
Yeah.
we can get your earrings on there too as well. I know the artist, so we can sort that out, bro.
Give me some big hoops. Give me some big hoops. Yeah.
I know Joseph Martinez might have a couple hoops on his, but I might have dropped a little name, but we can work that out for you.
Love that. Hey, if anybody out there too, I'm gonna just say this real quick. If anybody got jobs in the Web3 space, my guy Sites, retired athlete now, he's looking for some jobs in the Web3 space or any space, honestly. He's ready to make moves. So, hit up Sites too.
Thanks for pitching for me, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do my best. You're my guy. But then, like I said, follow the Football Punks Twitter page. It's right there in the tweet at the top. Follow or join the Discord, the link that I posted, and you can connect directly with me, with Dom, with other athletes that are going to be in there, and it's going to be great. But for now, I really appreciate you guys all tuning in to this space. I'm going to be back next Tuesday. So if you got any ideas of what you want to talk about, literally hit me up, tweet at me, DM me, whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what we'll talk about. So see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
Hey, that's class.
Thanks,
Thank you, Tesho.
You're the man.
Appreciate it.
See you guys. Have a great night.
Have a good one.